Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to do a little pen and ink and watercolor, and it's so easy. In fact, I'm going to do this in my adult class tonight, and I thought, well, it'll be fun to share it with you guys through YouTube as well. So it's just like you're coming to my class. It's exactly what my students are going to learn tonight. So this is a finished project. You're just going to need a watercolor card or a small piece of watercolor paper, your basic watercolors, and some permanent markers. You can use micron pens. I'm using these Sepia brown Pitt pens. Anything that's not going to run with water is absolutely fine to use. And you're also going to want a pencil. And I'm just going to start by sketching on. I'm going to try to keep it dark enough for you to kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to switch over to pen very soon, but I just want to get a couple corn cobs drawn in here for you. Okay, you don't need to make them too big because you're going to be doing a lot of pen and ink work. Make that one up a little bit higher. And then I just want the want to put some corn silk, kind of corn huskies, you know, the whatchamacallit, you know, the husk. You pull the husk back on the ears, you know what I'm talking about. You've husked a piece of corn before in your life, haven't you? Oh, it's going downhill so quickly today. All right, and I just wanted to get a basic shape in there. So if I can pull it up to the screen, I think you can see that, you know, I've got three kind of lobes there and just some random squiggle lines, but we are going to get rid of the random squiggle lines, and we'll be cooking with fire pretty soon. Alright, of course, go on the internet, find a picture if you need, or go to the grocery store. I haven't seen the decorative corn out yet, but it will be out soon if you want to file this away in the back burner. I'm going to start with a medium point pen, and one of the other things you're going to want to do with your pencil is just to make some vertical lines, which would be longitude if you were looking at a globe. I learned that last night helping my daughter with geography. The ones that go parallel, side to side, never touch, are latitude lines. Give our corn some longitude lines. You can do some latitude lines too. Some latitude with attitude today. Whew. I got my floors washed. I'm excited because I got my housework done so I can actually play. I didn't think I was going to be able to play today. That's so sad. I don't like it when I can't get into my studio. Alright, so my favorite part of doing this is doing the husky bits. And I'm just using my thicker pen to do the kind of the outlines of them. So I'm kind of I've got like a bunch here. I'm not gonna do any whatchamacallit, I'm not gonna put any string on them, you know, like how they come bundled up in the grocery store. I think your mind will put that part in. You could, of course, do a bit of string if you want to. And the more little husky bits that come down in front of the corn, the less little kernels you have to draw. A little time saver for you there. And really, I mean, it's just some kind of wavy gravy lines there. Nothing too difficult. Actually, you don't even have to clip your paper down at this stage of the game. There, I want it nice and full. I do like the nice full look. I think this pen's going dry. I might have to do myself a little ring on that one. Alright, I'm going to cap that up, and now I'm going to put in some detailed lines for the corn husk here. And I'm going to try to keep my hand out of the way. I hate that when maybe if I tip it like that, my hand will be kind of out of the way for you. I'm not going to put in that much detail, but I want enough that I'm getting that kind of liney texture of the corn husks and getting some shadows in there. And the great thing about pen and ink and watercolor washes is that if you spend some time on the drawing, have some fun with it, you know, you can't mess it up after that. I mean, you could watercolor wash anything over it and you're still going to have the foundation and the structure of your pen and ink line. So I really like that. So if I have like a piece of corn husk that's underneath another piece, I'm going to give it more lines, see, like I did right there, to make it shadowed, like right here. This one's kind of behind that one in the front there, so I'm giving it more lines. See, like right there, I got more lines, like right here. Oh, and by the way, feel free to turn your artwork as you're working. I want to be comfortable. You don't want to give yourself, you know, a sore wrist or you know, a sore back because you're keeping your paper still. Go ahead and turn it if you need to. And also your lines they should kind of follow the edge. It should be parallel kind of to the edge that you're drawing it. against, you know, so if this piece of husk is going like that, my line should go like that as well. If that makes sense. Hope it makes sense. And I find it a little bit easier to draw pulling the pen towards myself, and so that's why I turn my paper and I do it that way. So you do it however is most comfortable for you. All right, I don't think this project's going to take too long. It's hard to say. I was fooling around with the other one, listening to a podcast. It was a paper clipping roundtable, by the way. It's an excellent podcast. If you ever, if you like podcasts, you ever get a chance to check it out. I've been listening to that for years. I really enjoy it. They do a really nice job. It's funny. It's a scrapbooking podcast, so so it's kind of funny because you wouldn't think that people talking about scrapbooking would be all that entertaining because it's such a visual thing, but it's quite fun. It's lovely. I enjoy it. Very enjoyable. All right, now I want to draw the little corn kernels here, and some of the corn kernels will be more round. It depends on the type of corn it is, and then you'll get ones that are kind of more flat. You're probably going to spend more time in the drawing of this than the painting. And again, I'm going to move around as I go, and you don't want them all to be lining up like teeth. You want them to be very they'll have some order. We talked about order and random and and all that stuff on our Zentangle video, but you know, you don't want them to be perfect. You want to have kind of something to go by, but you don't want them to all be perfect lined up, you know, exactly the same. You want them to be a little different. Each kernel should be its own unique thing, like a snowflake, a corny snowflake. Okay, so this front one I've done with more round kernels. Okay, but if I go over here, I think I'll do flatter ones over on this one. So I'm just using my sketch as a rough guide. Let's see, I'll make these flatter and more squared off. So you just want to go in and fill in all of the corn you drew. You could stick to just one ear of corn if that's all you want. Another fun thing to draw is squash and gourds. It's a little early for them, but they'll be coming out soon. They'll be available at farmers markets and at your nurseries and greenhouses very soon. And you know, it's fun to decorate with them, so you might as well you know, draw them too while you're at it. Alright, so this is going to be a lot of monotony here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, finish sketching these kernels, and we'll join back up for the watercolor bit. So hang on a moment. Alright, here we go. We are back. Here we're in frame. We're cooking with fire. Alright, and let's put a little, you know, I really love playing with the little corn husk thing, so I will tend to do a little bit more in that area. And, you know, pull some more up there. But when you feel like it's done, it's done. It's, you know, as soon as you're happy with it, you can just stop drawing whenever you're ready. Now, you can take a soft eraser, and I like a white plastic one, and just kind of gently erase your lines. The reason I prefer the white ones as opposed to the paint pearls are kind of horrible on watercolor paper because they are they're really abrasive. So the white vinyl ones, and they even have ones at the dollar store, they are very soft and very good to your paper. They do have a little bit of a crumminess, not as bad as like an art gum, but they do the trick. And then I just kind of, I'll vacuum that up later. There we go. Just a little reminder that it's time to vacuum the studio. Okay, so now we're just gonna work on with some basic colors. I got my watercolor palette right here. If I could put this somewhere where you could see it, that would be great, but I don't think I can because I only have this much room. I'm just gonna use a number 10 round, and let's do the husks first. We're gonna want some yellow ochre, and I just got that right over there. And let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some of that yellow ochre hither and thither. And the great thing is, we've got our foundation. You know, it looks fabulous already, if I do say so myself. So we don't have to really worry about much, because hard stuff's done. Now it's just painting for funsies. I'm gonna move that little guy. That's kind of bugging me. Clip, clip. There we go. Oh, and of course the dog is going to start, I'm going to start growling. This is the time the teenagers get dropped off from high school, a little earlier than the younger ones. Now, I've done this little mix of violet here. I just use ultramarine blue and mauve. You can use actual violet or purple if you have it on your palette. This palette in particular doesn't. So, please excuse the dog. She's not attacking anybody. We have nobody breaking into the house. She's just being a dweeb. She's a golden retriever. Also known as the most vicious dog in the world. Alright. I think I want a little burnt sienna. That is this kind of reddish brown there. And that's a little, I'm going to add a little ultramarine blue. I've got some burnt sienna ultramarine over there, but I'm just going to throw some there just so you can see I'm not kidding ya. It really does make a nice grayed down brown. And I'm just filling it in. I don't want to have really any white spaces in the husks, but it really doesn't matter if you do. You do whatever you like, but this is just my guideline. And if you go out and that bothers you, like there I'm outside of the lines, it does not bother me one iota, but if it bothers you and that happens to you, what you can do is when it's all dry, make sure your paper's dry, you can go in there with your waterproof pen and you can draw a line out around it, and no one will ever know that you went outside of the lines. You might know that I went outside of the lines if I fixed it, because I just told you that's what I do, but nobody cares. Have fun! There's no wrong way to do this, people! Ah, love it! Okay. Credit card scraper, my favorite thing in the world. And I'm just adding some more texture. So these lines are not going to be as dark as the pen and ink, which I did in brown. I think I mentioned that. Or you could use black. And you know what? I have this other color. Where'd it go? It's sanguine. It's like an orangey brown. It's very pretty. And I did see these sets of 4 pens on sale at Jerry's Artorama. I got the fall catalog, which is just so tempting. I don't need any more colored pencils, and yet, oh, show me colored pencils with its own little carry case and a free sketchbook and a little messenger bag, and I must have it. I didn't order it. I was good. Catalog's still sitting on the coffee table, though. Taunting me. It's taunting me. I don't need any more pencils. Goodness. I don't need any more pencils. Or paper. I need to keep telling myself that. And they have a deal on Archer's paper, too. Add insult to injury. I don't need to order any more supplies. I'm running out of room. Alright, you can play with these husks as much as you want, but I think I'm going to leave that the way it is, because we got to get cooking on these kernels. We got to start cooking the corn, people. Alright, so I'm going to grab a little of this nice warm cad yellow. I just stuck it in the yellow ochre because I wanted to dull it a little bit. And I think I'm going to paint this whole cob over here with that color. I'm going to build up our colors here. Maybe I'll try, I guess I should look at my original painting, make sure I do the same colors. I've painted Indian corn so many times in my career that I could do it by heart, but I often change it up. And the middle one, I'm just kind of dripping in some different colors. Let's do some of that in there, some of this nice mauve. That's the nice thing about using the mauve to mix your purple if you're going to be using ultramarine anyway, because it just gives you you get 2 colors instead of just one purple. You end up with a mauve and a blue, so you can use them for different things. And I think I want to use some burnt sienna and a little cad red, cad red is kind of like a well, this cad red is cad red deep and it looks a little pinky, but cad red is generally your more warmer red. It's really great for fall projects. And I'm going to grab some more of that cad red and just go right over here. And I'm working pretty quick. This is a Strathmore watercolor card. And oh my gosh, I have to give, I'm bummed, I can't remember this girl's name. But one of my viewers, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember your screen name, said she's on her 2nd box of watercolor cards, of the 100 size box of watercolor cards. So yay! I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you guys are painting so much that you're using up your watercolor cards. That means you're practicing. That means that you are really doing awesome stuff. And I need to make notes because I really wanted, I would have loved to have recognized her by name. But that's awesome. You know, use up your stuff, buy stuff, use stuff, or make do with what you have. But just make sure you make time to create. It's so important. Alright, I feel like that's a little dark, so what I'm going to do, and I feel like it needs to be a little bit bluer. So I'm just adding that color in, but then I'm gonna take my, I should invest in a new paper towel. I'm gonna blot some of that away. There we go, we see that nice pure color under there. I wasn't sure, I probably should have dried my my husks, the ones that are really close to this, because I think they're getting a little blurry. Good thing we have the pen lines, because then we don't have to worry about the blurriness so much. Alright, let's start working on the corn on the cob over there. Corn on the cob. It's not corn on the cob, it's decorative corn. Let me dry this up real quick. At least dry up this little corn cob on the side. There, that's good enough. We can let the, and let's look at our actual painting there. And let's grab a little burnt sienna. I might have to pause it at one point here. And put in just painting a few random kernels with this burnt sienna. And honestly, if you don't have it right in the spot, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to do some blue, because there are blue corn kernels. Oh, speaking of corn, it's Boy Scout popcorn time. We've got Scouts selling popcorn here. It's that means it's going to be Girl Scout magazine and candy time. Oh man. I don't know, all the fundraisers happen at the same time. You'd think they'd all get together and say, I know, why don't we sell popcorn in the fall and you sell your cookies in the spring and don't do any of these other rubbish sales promotions until then. Gets to be a bit crazy. Alright, well I kind of let these blade together, but I kind of like it. So, you know, you do whatever you prefer. And I'm just darkening that part of the corn cob there because I think it would be in the shadow of the corn husks. And that's easy. Alright, now we're going to, I'm going to pause this and dry this thoroughly, and we're going to do the same thing on the other ones. Alright, I decided to kind of dab some colors in there just so I'd have those done out of the way, and I'm just going to add some onto this front one. So we can get that done before we run out of time here. Just kind of tap here and there in the middle of the kernels. You don't have to make it fancy or fussy. Your pen and ink is already there, and that has done most of the work for us. Alright, now to do a shadow around it, you don't have to do that, but I will show you how to do that. What you're going to do is wet the background, and don't go right up to the edge of your illustration. Go leave like 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch gap, because if you do have some wet paint there, we want to make sure that's not going to bleed right out. Plus, your paint is only going to go where it's wet, so when we go in there with the purple, we can bring it right up to the edge nice and crisply and then just let it kind of fade out. So I've wet the paper. Now I'm just going to grab that mauve and ultramarine blue mix. A little more mauve there. A little more water there. And then we're just going to, and you can use a smaller brush if you want. This will hold quite a bit of paint, so that might make you a little nervous. But it's up to you. I'm just drawing right along the edge. So it's just going to, we get the concentration of color right up by the corn cob, then it's going to fade out into the, it's going to fade right out into the rest of the background. And you don't even have to put this in here. This is only if you want that. Now I can see in a spot where some of the paint I've just put on one of the corn cobs is kind of drifting out, but we can blot that right off. I will invest in a new paper towel and I will blot that off, so don't worry about that. Really need to get some sponsors. I can't invest in a paper towel. I'm kidding. I'm just so kidding. I got a whole roll of paper towels. Don't you worry. This is brought to you by Bounty. Just kidding. It wasn't. I have nothing to do with Bounty. Oh, good Lord. I don't want to get sued by Bounty. Although I do have some Bounty paper towels. And I do have some generic paper towels. I'm probably more likely to buy the generic paper towels. Unless I have a coupon. Oh, actually, you know what? I do kind of like that. I kind of don't want to blot it off. What shall I do? I'm going to fill this in, I'll tell you that. And then you can add, I don't think I want to blot it off. Then you can add some more shadows in the corn husks if you want to. Just have fun with it. You don't have to rush it. I'm rushing it just because I don't want it to take too long for video, but you take your time and just enjoy the process. Please, if you enjoyed this this tutorial, give me a thumbs up, and if you want to, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to always happy crafting. I don't know. Bye bye.